everyone, and welcome back to the to our podcast.
Yes, welcome back.
Yeah, the V&R Moo-V
podcast.
Yeah, sorry that we've been gone for a little while.
Yes, we have.
We've been kind of scheduling conflicts.
Failed
attempts at,
doing remotely.
because I'd rather not talk about that.
Yeah.
But hey, what's important is that we're here, and we've got some very important things to talk about. Like, would you like to take the reins, V?
Yes, about harassment.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I've been getting harassed by this guy. Not this. Sorry, my bad. I've been getting harassed by this guy named Jason McDonald.
Maybe, I didn't think I didn't think you'd use his say his name, but if you but hey, harassment is harassment,
life, yes.
So maybe you should
McDonald.
Maybe it's okay to say that.
Yes.
And not just her, he also called me out, messaged me out of the blue on Facebook and Instagram, called me a communist bastard, and
not nice.
Yeah. Apparently he thinks we're in a relationship. To be transparent, we are not in a relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
He's obsessed.
I mean, evidently he followed you on your what's that app called?
Tell something, an anonymous app kind of thing.
Yeah, an anonymous app, and he subscribed to you.
Yes.
I mean, that's
and the block.
That's interesting. He could have followed you long term without even revealing his identity.
Yes.
I mean, bravo, sir, bravo.
Bye.
I mean,
I don't care if it goes off or not. I can use it. I'm gonna use his name anyway.
Alright, cool. That's you may do that.
Yes, I'm just gonna Vim.
Good for you.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the end of that little forward.
Yes.
Because we've got something. You got something more of a I guess, world shaking to discuss.
Yes.
In terms of, if you've clicked on this
title, you might know what it's about.
Yeah. So and it's the evil of Queen Elizabeth II of the House of Windsor.
Nice.
Yeah, so, when you heard of the death of the Queen, what was your reaction?
I was crying, sad.
Wow, you were crying.
You were happy about it.
It wasn't so much that I was happy, but I was kind of
relief.
Let's just whatever. I was happy. I don't care. I do not care that a generational monarch with tons of wealth built off the back of colonialism and slavery is fucking kicked the bucket.
Yeah.
And we're going to be looking at some of that in tonight's episode. And but before we do that, I think it's fine. It's fine that we talk a little bit about Queen Elizabeth herself. Just give me a moment as I open up the and I think I'm just going to read from the Wikipedia article for her. Maybe we'll look at that later. Just switch to here.
She looks beautiful when she's young.
She was alright looking as a young woman. So if she was coronated today, do you think she would have an OnlyFans?
No.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, a wall with an OnlyFans, that's a whatever. Yes. They even have a young picture of her on for her Wikipedia page now.
I know, I like it.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Anyway, so Elizabeth II was Queen of the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth realms from the 6th of February 1952 until her death in 2022.
Yes.
She was Queen Regent of 32 sovereign states during her lifetime and 15 at the time of her death.
Oh, wow.
Her reign of 70 years and 214 days is the longest of any British monarch, the longest recorded of any female head of state in history, and the second longest verified reign of any sovereign in history.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot.
Yep. Elizabeth was born in Mayfair, London, as the first child of the Duke and Duchess of York, later King George IV and Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Her father ascended to the throne in 1936 upon the abdication of his brother, King Edward VIII, making Elizabeth the heir presumptive.
Yes.
She was educated privately at home and began to undertake public duties during the Second World War, serving in the Auxiliary Territorial Service.
Oh.
In November 1947, she married Philip Mountbatten, a former Prince of Greece and Denmark, until their marriage lasted 73 years until his death in April 2021. They had 4 children, Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward.
Yes.
I think that's all I'm going to read from the Wikipedia article because I've got a lot of other stuff that we're going to look at.
Yes.
But yeah, that article does tell you a lot about
yes, Queen Elizabeth.
about old Lizzie. You know how long her reign lasted when it started, how much what her how far
she came become
where
she from being like a princess to a queen.
Yeah, like I didn't know she was like the oldest child. That's probably what
I knew.
Yeah, that's probably what allowed her. That's probably what assured her the throne.
Yes.
Because of
she was the oldest, and she got a younger sister named Margaret.
Yeah, because I guess the monarchy even back then gave the throne to a woman.
Yes, but at least inspired for younger woman generation at least.
Yeah, she's a great inspiration to younger people.
Yes.
As long as you have a net worth of like I don't know how much money she has. Like she's probably like had the amount of billions, and she was also I think she was also let's just look at some of the articles I pulled because I've pulled a few. I pulled let's take a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 articles. So,
Ooh.
And I figured we'd start, because this stream is called "The Evil of Queen Elizabeth II." So, in the interest of fairness, I figured we'd start off by looking at this article that looks at her accomplishments.
Yes.
This is by Grunge. I have no idea what grunge means.
Yes.
I mean, and when the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I'm alive now, I know. I'm a mosquito, my libido, yeah, do. So yeah. Sorry to butcher Nirvana, but this is Queen Elizabeth II's most notable accomplishments. So let's take a look.
Yoo-hoo.
Correction from the 9th of this month, the previous version of the article. 19 when she joined the military. She was okay. Well, let's read on.
Yes.
Okay. Before her death on the 8th of September. Oh wow, it's been 11 days already.
Yes.
It does kind of feel like it happened yesterday.
Yes, it does.
I guess that makes this streaming all the more perfect.
Yeah, and it's
anyway, before her death, she Queen was the epitome of what's called soft power. The position she inherited in 1952 was already extremely reduced in terms of actual power and authority. Well, we'll see. We'll see what some other articles say. And during her reign, the crown underwent a transformation to a figurehead position. I know I've read some stuff that kind of challenges that.
Yeah.
Put simply, Elizabeth didn't have that much power. I mean, put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. Let's just look at her accomplishments.
Yes.
Her service in World War II. I mean, whatever big deal. A lot of people were dragged into that war and had no choice in the matter. Like, if she's like the queen, she should or well, rather the queen presumptive, she should at least like, hold herself to the same
But he's
standard.
BD'd by a young woman,
Or
though.
rather that, well, let's see what this says.
She's only 13 years old.
When World War II broke out in 1939, Princess Elizabeth was only 13 years old. As noted by the National World War II Museum, when Buckingham Palace was bombed during the Blitz in 1940, her father, King George VI, and his wife Elizabeth remained there in solidarity with the rest of the population, but the Princess Elizabeth and Margaret were evacuated to Windsor Castle 20 miles away.
Oh, she became aged and she was on the war.
As the war dragged on, Elizabeth felt a keen sense of duty, according to who? Okay. According to biography, she wanted to enlist as soon as she came of age in 1944, but the royal family couldn't allow the heir to the throne to be put in danger. I mean, you have one other heir. Come on.
Yeah.
Like if she was if instead of two princesses, there was two princes. I bet they'd have been okay with that. But Elizabeth refused to take no for an answer and kept pushing. In 1945, when she was 18, Elizabeth was given permission to join the military efforts. She joined the Women's Auxiliary Territory Service and trained for 6 weeks as an auto mechanic. Okay, that's a... Yeah. Times noted that this wasn't a combat role, but that doesn't mean it didn't come with risks. At least 335 members of the ATS were killed during the war. The young princess's dedication to her country and her willingness to serve, just like anyone else, she did get to go home to Windsor Castle every night to sleep.
Yeah.
Made her extremely popular and sparked a lifelong love of cars and mechanical work. There is this story that when she met with Obama somewhere, Obama gave her an iPod.
Really?
Yeah. But she already had the new one.
Wow.
It was something like that. I don't. Yeah. The exact details were I don't think I had them quite right, but she basically was a technophile.
Yeah.
I guess she's real big into technology, so yeah. The stability she brought. Oh, okay. I mean, okay. If you're saying that she didn't have that much power, then how was this the result of her? I mean, whatever. It might not be seem like a big deal, but one of Queen Elizabeth's greatest accomplishments was simply being a stable, predictable monarch. Prior to her ascension, there have been a period of uncertainty. As reported by CBS News, her uncle Edward the Eighth abdicated when she was just 10 years old, throwing the crown into disarray. Cool. Her father stepped in as King George VI, but Vanity Fair notes that he did so very reluctantly, dreading the spotlight and feeling unprepared. Let's see. Let's actually move past all the context and see how she actually brought this stability. Elizabeth provided exactly what was necessary in this post-war period: stability. Her steady, calm approach to her new role gave the nation exactly what was needed as it emerged from a particularly chaotic period and remained exactly what the country needed as a series of new crises descended on it, including economic woes and a shrinking role on the world stage. Okay. Yeah. Let's get to the next one. She guided the transformation to a Commonwealth. Oh. Didn't know that. So she actually did that.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Whatever. By the time Elizabeth ascended to the throne in 1952, the British Empire was already in rapid decline. Yep. Yeah, they sucked in. I mean, they still have some influence over Africa. As explained by the Imperial War Museums during prior to World War II, Britain had maintained a vast empire of colonial holdings and a reputation as a world power. As noted by Politico, at its height, the British Empire held 57 colonies and other territories comprising about a quarter of the landmass of the world. Keep in mind, you might not know this, but they did not treat their colonies very well. Yeah. There was a lot of like a starvation and enslavement. Yes. But after teetering on the verge of total defeat and emerging into a new world dominated by the United States, Britain found its empire too expensive and difficult. A rapid list of former colonies began breaking away and declaring themselves as independent states. Beginning with India in 1947, you go India.
Yeah.
Although the process of establishing what's known as the Commonwealth began in the late 19th century, according to Britannica, it fell to Queen Elizabeth II to guide the country through a rapid acceleration of the process. When she was crowned, the Commonwealth had 8 member states. Today there are 54. That means that Queen Elizabeth oversaw a process in which practically the entire British Empire transformed into a voluntary association of sovereign states.
Oh.
Her own authority became largely ceremonial, and the British Empire is down to just a few islands scattered around the globe. But where other empires have gone down in literal flames, Elizabeth largely guided hers to peaceful, orderly end.
Oh.
It doesn't really say how she did that.
Yeah.
She modernized the monarchy. Modernize the monarchy? Oh, come on. Come on, man. You can't modernize a monarchy.
No.
Okay, whatever. Let's read this anyway. Do you want to read this as I drink water?
Yes. The kingdom of England dates back thousands of years, and Elizabeth was one in a line of monarchs that dated back in 1066. 1066, when William the Conqueror invaded the island, as noted in Vanity Fair. When her father, King George IV, took the throne after uncle abdication. There was no certainty that the monarchy would survive. In the early years of the 20th century, it seems like the British monarchy would be swept away like so many others, while King George VI provided a period of stability. What's that? Stability. Stability.
I'm pretty sure they can figure out what you're trying to say.
Yes, but they can run on pause anyway.
Just finish this.
Yes.
This sentence and I'll take
that
over.
Forestalled any thoughts of abolishing the monarchy. Queen Elizabeth was the only one who truly saved it.
Okay, I'll take over again.
Yes.
The secret. Britannica explains that she stabilized the royal family's position with a willingness to modernize and embrace change. Realizing that her subjects needed the royal family as approachable, she appeared on television regularly and spoke directly to the people. She also embraced new technology. As soon as noted by Forbes, she sent out the first royal tweet in 2014, and history reports that she was the first monarch to record her annual Christmas message on film. Today you can watch it on YouTube. She also adjusted her approach to marriage and divorce, accepting the fact that the latter became much more common and acceptable in the modern world, and approving several divorces among the royal family. I mean, did they need her approval? I hope not.
No.
She made the succession more equitable. Okay. Although it is true that the Queen didn't introduce a vote on legislation that is expected to be very politically neutral, her influence was undeniable. Not only did she have to confer her ceremonial approval of all new laws, but she also represented a continuous line of experience stretching back to the 1950s. Her first mentor was Sir Winston Churchill, after all. So when the Crown Act of 2013 was passed, Reader's Digest notes it was with Elizabeth's cooperation, because the legislation might have failed were it not for her influence. That's a significant achievement, as it ended centuries of English history of the eldest son of a monarch being heir to the throne, even if he had an older sister per time.
Yeah.
As noted by BBC News, it also allowed the monarch to marry a Roman Catholic if they absolutely must. Though the monarch is still not allowed to actually be a Roman Catholic. What the fuck? God damn it. I mean, religious bigotry much. I mean, I bet they'd step in if the monarch wanted to marry a Muslim.
Yeah.
Or worse yet, a Jew. Hath a Jew not eyes? While it can be argued that the Queen had a very personal interest in seeing the rule change, as she proved over the course of 70 years that a woman could be a very effective monarch, she had also been a staunch defender of tradition. Boo. But Queen Elizabeth II never shied away from modernizing the monarchy when the opportunity arose, and this shift was a great step forward under gender equality. I mean, if you say so. She was the first monarch to address Congress.
Oh wow.
Is there any after this?
Yes.
Okay, well, do you want to read this one? It's a shorter one.
Yes. Considering the close history of the US and UK, it's perhaps surprising how deeply divided they have been. The United States of America started off as a group of British colonies, and of course, Americans were the subjects of the King of England, and yet one of Queen Elizabeth II, the second greatest achievement, came in 1991, more than two centuries after the US won independent from the British Empire. As reported by the Los Angeles Times, that year she became the first British monarch to address a joint session of the United States Congress, as noted by the New York Times. Her speech was a huge success, from a joke about her height to the three sending ovation. Is that what's that word? Ovations.
To the three standing ovations she received.
She absolutely charmed the American politicians. My bad. As noted by the Sun Sentinel, her speech was significant. My bad. Not only because she was the first king or queen of the United Kingdom to address Congress, but because she used it to underscore the special relationships between the US and the UK. Two countries shared a language and a great deal of history and culture, and the Queen's speech centered on continuing cooperation and a unity of interest.
Okay.
So I can't find my other glasses. This is like a. This is like an old.
Well, please keep in mind, everyone, that V is dyslexic.
Yes.
And, I should probably be doing all the reading, but my voice would leave me all too soon. Her visit to the Republic of Ireland in 2011. I bet the Irish were happy about that. I mean, I've seen videos about this soccer game where the Irish were shouting like, "Lizzie's in a box."
Yeah.
The United Kingdom has a violent history with many of its former dominions. That tends to happen when empires try to prevent people from ruling themselves. But few conflicts have been as bitter and bloody as the one between the UK and the Republic of Ireland. Dominated by the English for centuries, Ireland fractured into two states. One when nationalist party Sinn Féin declared a new Irish Republic, as explained by Britannica. Relations between the new Republic of Ireland and its former imperial masters were marked by violence for decades. Let's see what she did.
Yes.
Which made Elizabeth's state visit to Ireland in 2011 an incredible achievement. She was the first monarch to make an official visit to the island since its independence. Yada yada. As soon as her somber appearance under a garden of remembrance and was a sensation in Ireland, she placed her face at the monument and who died fighting in the UK for Irish freedom, and bowed her head respectfully as a subtle signal to acknowledge her own country's misdeeds. Whatever. According to The Guardian, the trip and the gesture made incredibly popular in the country, and that typically despised the monarchy as a former oppressor. The trip was a incredibly cheap. I think that's whatever. The 1969 television documentary. How old was she here? Whatever.
Yeah.
According to a town, what makes this important? The documentary was part of an effort to humanize the royal family and change their stuffy image, and it was one in many ways an incredibly success. More than 30 million people watched the film, and it showed the royals as a family for the first time. Human beings who joked, played, and ate dinner together. Many people saw the royals in a new light. According to CNN, the Queen was soon regretted the decision and banned the documentary from future broadcasts. In fact, so she wasn't above using her power and influence to stop the movie from the documentary from being circulated. Remove the sense of awe and glamour from the leading to an error, invasive or whatever. Her tireless charity work. I mean, okay, unless she ever let like homeless people stay in a, like, you know, stay in her a massive palace.
Yeah.
I think this is once bullshit. Greatest achievements was a commentative one. The sheer amount of effort that charity work, whatever. In case, in fact, was creative being one of the most greatest supporters of charity work in the world. Okay, is any money? How much did she donate? The Queen was responsible at least in part for raising and eye-popping. Help with whatever. She reformed the monarchy's finances. Supporting racial justice in the Commonwealth. Okay, let's see what this says.
Yes.
The royal family is not cited as being particularly woke. They are, after all, privileged as a whole, not just rich but royal. But one of the great and often overlooked achievements of the Queen was the required work she did over the years to support racial equality and investment in the world. As noted by the New York Times, the Queen's work began in her early years in 1961 when she danced with President Ghana Kwame Nkrumah. I definitely said that wrong. A black man, this savaged many racists, both in her own kingdom and the larger Commonwealth. I mean, if that's true and she did piss off a bunch of racists, good for her. More power to her. Let's see, let's keep reading. Whoops, wrong way. According to the Washington Post, the Queen also supported Black Lives Matter movement as a whole. Have been accused of holding racist attitudes. Did she ever tweet Black Lives Matter? I'm
not too sure.
I'm pretty sure that would whatever.
Yeah.
She was the longest serving monarch in English history. Yeah, we know that. Looks like that's the end of it.
Yes.
So, those accomplishments. What do you think?
They were good. I'm happy for her.
Okay, admittedly, some of them were. Some of them were rather impressive, but I think a lot of them were kind of just neutral and put on kind of giving a spin of wow, isn't she so great? Even though she was even though all she really did was like stand out the way but I guess whatever.
Yeah.
So let's look at another article.
Which one is it?
Hold on. This is hold on. Just wait for it to load. Okay, let's switch it back to the display capture. 30 things the Queen Elizabeth II can do that no one else can. So, basically, that previous article said that Queen had more or less no power. I think this article will challenge it.
Yes.
Because, and just to be clear, I did look at other articles that said things that, other things that also said what the Queen can do that no one else can.
Yeah.
they had some of the same shit on as this, so I think we can I think we can take this with reasonable certainty.
Yes.
Okay,
Driving a
without
car license.
drive a car without a license. Yeah, even though it says she was usually chauffeur, she occasionally got behind the wheel.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, but she doesn't need a license. If either of us drive without a license, we'd be arrested.
Yes.
Drive without a license plate. I mean,
Yes.
It's gonna be the Queen.
Yes.
Let's see. Decide the road dress code. I mean, whatever. This is this doesn't really affect other people.
No.
So I mean, it kind of does. I mean, she's not the only royal person, but
Yes.
whatever. Avoid getting arrested.
Yes, she can avoid getting arrested. She's immune.
Yeah, exactly.
Same King Charles.
Yeah, you cannot say that she has no real power.
Yeah.
Like if she can like stab me in the if I'm in England and she stabs me in the heart and she walks away, nothing can be done to her.
Yeah, she can kill someone, like give them death row sentence to someone if she likes to.
Yeah, exactly. So next one. Dismiss a prime minister.
Yes.
Okay, that's some serious power.
She can do it to her. So she's fired one Australian government back in the day.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But that was back in the day.
It was like in the 60s.
Oh shit.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to look into that. While she can't vote or state her political opinions publicly, I mean, what's stopping her? The Queen serves as an overarching figure to the British government. It'd have to be an extreme case for her to act, but under what is known as royal prerogative, the Queen can dismiss a Prime Minister. Go without a last name. I guess she's. I guess she's kind of been doing that for the better part of her reign. So let's keep going. Take legal custody of her grandchildren.
Let's go back to the King of George, who ruled Alexandria.
I think. Yeah.
The reason why he did it because of poor relationship with his son.
Okay, let's keep going. Open Parliament in the UK. While many see Queen Elizabeth as a symbolic figurehead in government, one of her many duties as the head of state is to lead the state opening of Parliament each year. So if she decided not to do that, Parliament would be suspended.
Yeah.
Like, is that how it works?
I'm not too sure.
Okay. Skip paying taxes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we have to pay taxes, but she doesn't.
She voluntarily pays tax. Voluntarily pays taxes income.
Well, yes, but there is something you need, like. She pays in. She did voluntarily pay income taxes, but there were other, taxes that she happily took the exemption from because there were also like land taxes that or other stuff that she she didn't pay for.
Yeah.
There was this really good video by Sean that you might want to look into if you're. But whatever, let's keep going. Travel internationally without a passport. Since all British passports are issued by the Queen herself, the monarch isn't required to have one. However, she is the only member of the royal family who is granted this right. Well, I guess King Charles has that right now.
Yes.
Avoid jury duty. I mean, like, I can't blame her for sitting this one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep going. Ignore speed limits.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't matter if your wife's pregnant and you have to drive her to the hospital. Yes. If she felt like speeding and she crashes into you.
Yeah.
It's
you can't even see her anything.
Yeah, it's also your fault.
Yeah.
Because celebrate 2 birthdays.
Yes.
Yeah, at least
her
one.
birthday was part of a celebrate on April 21st. And the birthday's marked on the second Sunday in June with the topping the colour ceremony or some shit. trooping.
At least one of them is a public holiday.
Yes.
Keep her finances private.
Yes.
The freedom of let's read this. The Freedom of Information Act went into effect in the United Kingdom in 2005, which grants the public the ability to access any information held by the government. However, the Queen and the royal household are exempt from the Act and therefore aren't required to disclose any private matters, such as finances, even so the royal do disclose their use of public money each year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice of them. Own unclaimed swans in...
Yes.
Any and all unmarked mute swans swimming in open waters belong to the Queen.
Yes.
Okay then, that's, guess you like swans.
Yes.
Not curtsy.
What's that?
I think curtsying is like, okay, I know you people can't see me, but I'm going to show, V. I think
yes.
I think it's like this.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, that kind of bow and the twirl of the wrist. Huge part of royal etiquette, but you won't find, she does, as protocol states, the Queen is curtsy too, and she does not need to return the favour.
Yes.
That's a double standard. All female members of the royal family are expected to greet the Queen with a formal curtsy upon every first address, while the males are required to head bow.
Yes.
Go cashless. Leaves houses with a few bills in her bag on Sunday so she can donate to the church. Okay. So do other English people need to carry cash on them? I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
Put a face on a currency in multiple countries.
Yes.
We're Australian.
Yes.
And
her face on every coin and except for the she's on every coin and the father's bill.
Yeah, I guess soon we're gonna see King Charles' face on that. And
there you can't use that once that King Charles III came, can't use the coins of Elizabeth.
Looks like she has a Guinness World Record for most currencies featuring the same individual. That's pretty impressive. Give out knighthoods.
Yes.
As Queen, she can bestow knighthood upon any citizen for their achievement or service to their country.
Yes, that's how I think got Sir Sean Connery.
Sean Connery was knighted.
Yeah.
So was Roger Moore.
Yes.
Christopher Lee. Ridley Scott.
About Daniel Craig.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yes.
Probably not, because he's like way younger than any of those guys.
Yeah.
Have access to special jewelry. Yeah, jewelry that was stolen from Africa and Asia. Let's move on.
Yes.
Decide what jewelry is loaned out. This is whatever. I'm not gonna read that. Do you want to read it?
It isn't just Queen Elizabeth who is able to wear the priceless prize for formal occasion, such as the state dinners or royal weddings. Queen Elizabeth decides which tiaras and jewels she loans to her family or future family members.
Okay. If you didn't want to read it, you could have said no.
I wanted to read it.
Okay, cool. Do you want to read this next one? Choose the royal menu.
Yes. With an extensive cooking staff, anything the Queen wants to eat is able to her. The Queen is presented with a menu twice a week for her to decide upon.
If you want to read a little slower, you may.
Yeah, sorry, I talked too fast.
Let's see. Access all royal residences. If you want to read this again, you may.
While Queen Elizabeth officially resident is Buckingham Palace, she moved into the palace shortly after she ascended the throne in 1952. She splits her time between the multitude of royal residents available to her.
Okay, I think I'll take over now.
Yes.
Issue royal warrants. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a myriad of companies that have been issued royal warrants over the years, which appoints a company or individual in trading capacity to the royal household, and it's the Queen who grants them. Most famously, Fulton Umbrella has one and creates the Queen's color-coordinated parcels. That means nothing to me. Decide when dinner ends.
Yeah.
There's no time to waste when dining at Buckingham Palace. That's because when the Queen is done with her dinner, the meal is over, according to royal etiquette. Oh, fuck that. Fuck her. Approve of royal marriage proposals. In accordance with the Succession to the Crown Act, the first 6 members of the royal family in line for the crown must have consent from the Queen to marry.
Yes.
I mean,
She picked Megan.
I mean, apparently, declare war.
Yeah, she can do that.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant power.
Yes.
Remember those royal prerogatives? Well,
King Charles can declare war too.
apparently, well, the special powers bestowed upon the crown also say that the Queen can declare war and peace.
Yeah.
She can also commit troops to an area of armed conflict. Owns the Bentley State. Oh yeah, something else that not only can she declare war, but she's the only person in the country that can.
She can.
Yeah. Own the Bentley State Limousine.
Oh wow.
While the President of the United States has the Beast to ride around, the Queen Elizabeth opted for something a bit more elegant. Her vehicle was known as the Bentley State Limousine.
Limousine, yes.
Looks
nice.
I want to drive a hearse.
Yes.
Let's see, grant a criminal pardon. I mean, yeah, that's pretty significant.
What's that?
I'll just read it to you. Among Queen Elizabeth's special legal powers is the ability to grant the royal prerogative of mercy, which pardons an individual of any crime punishment.
Yes.
In 2020, the Queen issued the special order to pardon a convicted felon after he saved the lives of British citizens in a London terrorist attack.
Really?
Yep. And last one. Have a private ATM. I mean, some Queen Elizabeth will never know the plight of rushing to the bank before closing time. And she has a private ATM in the basement of Buckingham Palace. So, yeah, what do you think of those special powers?
If I was Queen, I would declare war.
Declare war on whom?
I don't know, Russia. What about you? If you were king, what you would do?
I mean, yeah.
And also, if I was Queen, I would just kill people. And I would beg for mercy.
I mean, if I'm imagining myself as a king, I might as well, put myself in the mindset of a king.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd declare myself as queen and dress up like Elsa.
Yes.
Let it go.
Let it go. Just like my niece.
Anymore.
Don't say Elsa. My niece dressed up like Elsa the other day.
Maybe we can wait because if we could show to the audience that she's dressed that's from Frozen 2.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, she loves Elsa.
Yeah.
So I can't. I don't want to show anyone like pictures of.
No, sorry everyone. We were having a
private moment.
Yeah, you could say that. Once again, to just repeat, we are not a couple. Fuck you, Jason.
Yes.
Anyway, so I guess we can open up the next thing because I've got because this is a bit more of a because this one is we'll just let it load.
Yeah. Who's watching the funeral tonight?
Pardon?
If anyone's listening, who's watching the funeral? The state funeral.
I'm not. Okay.
I mean, like.
This is another article. This is from Showbiz Cheat Sheet. I'm not sure how reliable this
2018.
site. I'm not sure how reliable this site is, but dark secrets you never knew about Queen Elizabeth's life. I don't think we need to read this opening because we've already read enough about her life. So let's get going. Life she took a shocking path. Let's see. She was never supposed to be queen. She was supposed to live out her life as a silence of public eye. Let's see how. Okay, yeah. So yeah, with that context.
Yes.
Let's see. Revelation about King George the Seventh. Yeah, sixth, I should say.
Yes.
Never sweet to take the throne.
They will do some soon.
Okay. She breakfasted on bacon and eggs, tossed bananas to baboons below. Gambling queen. Okay, here's something new.
Yes.
Well known that a queen loved her horses, but we bet you didn't know that she had a penchant for gambling. The queen made quite a bit of money over the years on her prized animals. Reports. The book Radar Online reports that the last 3 decades, the British House Racing Authority shows that the Queen made $8.8 million off of these
breeds.
Out of her thoroughbreds. I don't know what that means.
Me though.
Life in the Palace. Spoke only about her mother and how much she cared for them as children. King Charles III has another story. The oldest of the 4, the king said in 1994, it was inevitably the nursery staff who taught him to play witness his first steps and punished and rewarded him. Hold on. Though Queen Elizabeth was worth $1 million and was said to be very fair with her staff, she still had a bit of a cheap streak.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the chefs in the royal household that felt the brunt of her frugality. Reports that the Queen refused to allocate any money towards kitchen supplies, so bad that the cooks were forced to use pots and pans from the 1800s that still have Queen Victoria's stamp on them.
Oh, wow.
The Queen's frugality also often meant that she and her staff were living in darkness. Okay, I think that we've enough.
Yes.
How the Queen treated her children. It said that the Queen felt a great deal of guilt over being called to serve her country over raising her children. Therefore, though she was very tight with her own budget, she indulged her children out of guilt. Okay. Queen Elizabeth's family, since the royals are known to intermarry, it's probably not shocking that a queen of were third cousins. I mean, that's not too bad. She was 13 and...
He was 18.
Yeah, and when they...
It was back in younger
when
days.
they met.
Yes, but they're like happy.
I mean, if
and
they say so.
Her father was against it. He didn't approve.
I'm on the why.
Yes.
The life of war was under Queen Elizabeth. So approach to war scandals. I don't really want to read that. Do you want to read it, or do you want to skip it?
Just skip it.
Okay, yeah. The monarchy after Queen Elizabeth, since we're already here, so I don't think we need to read that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wasn't too
bad.
I mean, apparently she didn't treat her staff for all that well.
There's a video of it anyway, like, I'm accusing, like, there's a video, like, at the moment, it's been uploaded on YouTube.
Yeah.
The how she meet, what staff, she, like, the staff open about what Elizabeth made them do. I was some shit about that.
Oh, wow, that's,
yeah.
Oh, I wonder, I might look into that. So,
yes.
Yeah, let's get into the next, topic of this episode, and let's look at this image right here.
Yes.
Here's Queen Elizabeth, young with, various royal objects, and, and with headers stolen from India, South Africa, Egypt, Kenya, Barbados, Fiji, Nigeria, and Australia.
What's that?
Now, hold on. Before we actually look into this, I tried to verify this image. I tried to find the names of these objects because even though the countries are labelled, the names of the objects clearly aren't. Yeah. And, I tried to find if they were indeed stolen, so... Like, I tried to, but I really couldn't verify this image, so... Now, like, at one point, all of these countries were colonies under the British Empire, so... They very well may have been stolen or were at least obtained unethically, but I couldn't verify that these were actually stolen. but I was able to pull up some articles about about what was indeed stolen.
Yes.
And so I think so yeah, I think it's fine. So yeah, let's look at what some role.
What issue? What King Charles? What the Great British Loot?
Hold on. Let me switch it back over. Okay, the Great British Loot from the Koh-i-Noor to the Great Star of Africa, jewels and art stolen by the Empire. So let's take a look at these actual. Let's take a look at these actual objects.
Yeah.
The Koh-i-Noor diamond. Shortly after the Queen's demise, Twitter lit up with many calling for the return of the Koh-i-Noor, also spelled Koh-i-Noor, which is part of the British Royal Crown Jewels. By the way, this article was published. I can't find it. Okay. On the 16th of so just 3 days ago. It's okay. The should come back to its origin. At least the UK can do. Fuck you.
Fuck ads. Oh, it's Twitter. It's on yet.
Twitter. Okay, let's just keep going. Let's look at. Let's avoid opinions and look at just like stone cold history.
Yes.
John Oliver's bid on the diamond performed some 5 years, went viral on social. Okay, whatever. Richard Bel's Mountain of Light was originally about 186 carats, and while its exact origins are unknown, it's most likely discovered in South India in the 13th century. According to the website of the UK's Royal Palaces, the Koh-i-Noor was unearthed from the Golconda mines in central southern India before it was handed to the British monarchy in 1849.
But how did it been stolen? If I'm curious about how it was handed, how was that stealing? Or stole? You okay? You okay?
Yeah. I'm just drinking my water too fast, I guess. What was your question?
Like, how was she? If Queen Elizabeth, they've accused, how did Elizabeth store the jewel was actually handed to her?
Well, no, it was already in her position because this happened back in
19
like before she.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, of the coin, British gained it from disposed 10-year old. So okay, I'll answer that question in a little bit. Let's just finish reading this.
Rumored to be
cursed for men. It was initially worn by Bush. As a bush by Queen Victoria and later mounted in the crowns of Queen Alexandra and Queen Mary. It currently sits in a crown and is created for Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mother of her coronation. Let's see if there's anything else that says. It was being the centre of political and legal controversy in India amidst disputes over its ownership, with claims coming not just from India but Pakistan as well. To be purely pragmatic about it, at some point the monarchy will understand that keeping the diamond is more of a public relations liability for them than an asset.
No.
Okay. Now to answer your question about apparently this diamond was taken from a 10-year-old.
Yes.
From the 10-year-old Maharaja. In 1849. No. Okay, no.
Oh.
Now, not only that, not only did they take it from a 10-year-old a 10-year-old monarch in India, a country that that was under British control, and so I actually have there's actually a pretty good analogy that I can use.
Yeah.
So imagine that you are on a plane.
Yes.
That plane crashes on an island.
Yeah.
you wake up on that deserted island.
Yeah.
You are the only survivor except for one other person who woke up before you. He grabbed all the coconuts and he took all the wreckage from the plane and he stored the coconuts inside that wreckage and he claimed it all for himself.
Oh yeah, I get you now.
Yeah.
I get you.
And those coconuts, they are your best chance of survival on that island. And you ask him or her, whatever.
Yes.
You ask them, hey, can I have a coconut so that I don't die? And he says, sure, you can have a coconut if you suck my dick.
Yeah.
So, now, would that be a fair trade or would that be exploitative and coercive?
Oh, fuck.
You're
dying for hunger. You do anything.
That's the point. I mean, the answer is pretty easy to me.
To suck the guy's dick. Just for a coconut. Because I want to die.
Yeah, but that's not. But the point is that, is it fair or is it coercive?
Coercive. The second one?
Or
I'm not too sure. That's fair, really. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Like, I'll change my mind. I'll probably die. Just let him have his coconut.
Okay. Yeah. So that's So that's not too dissimilar from the thing with the Maharaja, the 10-year-old Maharaja that had to give up the jewel. Whatever. Anyway, that's number one. We've also got a few more. The Great Star of Africa. Which one is? Okay, let's just read this. While most know of the Koh-i-Noor diamond and growing calls for its return to India, there are many in South Africa who are calling for the return of the Great Star of Africa, or Cullinan I diamond. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
Known as the Great Star of Africa or Cullinan 1, it is the biggest stone cut from the Cullinan diamond, which was discovered in South Africa in 1905 in a mine owned by its namesake Thomas Cullinan, and is the largest gem quality uncut diamond ever found.
Yeah.
Today, the Great Star of Africa is mounted in the sovereign scepter with the cross. Queen Elizabeth II has been seen in many portraits wearing these diamonds. According to I think you get the point.
Yes.
Hold on. Okay, wait. According to the Royal Collection Trust, which oversees the Royal Collection of the British Royal Family, the Cullinan diamond was presented to King Edward VII, the British monarch at the time, in 1907, 2 years after its discovery in a private mine in South Africa's old Transvaal province. However, many South Africans reject this narrative. A University of South Africa professor of African politics, Evestra Bene, sorry, Africa.
Yeah. Told
CNN, our narrative is that the whole Transvaal, a union of South Africa governments and the concomitant mining syndicates were illegal. Receiving a stolen diamond does not exonerate the receiver. The Great Star is a blood diamond. The private mining company, the Transvaal government, and the British Empire were part of a larger network of coloniality. Yeah, that's the Coconut Island.
Yeah.
Skip this.
Yeah.
Okay, an activist said Colin Diamond must be returned to South Africa with immediate effect. Elgin marbles. This is something else. Something else. Greece has been demanding the return of the Elgin marbles since 1925. Let's see. I guess they want these back.
Yeah.
Collection of different types of marble architectural decorations from the Temple of Athena. They reside in the British Museum, according to many media reports and archives in history. In 1803, British Lord Elgin allegedly removed the marbles from the Pantheon's decaying walls in Greece and transported them to London. This is also the reason the precious marbles are called Elgin marbles.
Oh.
The British Empire on this website, let's see.
Yeah.
He was granted a permit, and between 1801 and 1805, acting under the oversight of the relevant authorities, Elgin removed about half of the remaining sculptures from the ruins of the Pantheon.
Yeah. So it was granted.
He also obtained permission to have removed sculptures and architectural claimants. In July, the deputy director of British Museum proposed a Pantheon partnership with Greece that could see the marbles return to Athens after more than 200 years.
Yeah.
Apparently Greece has been demanding for the return of the marbles, and George Clooney and his wife have been, arguing in Greece's favor.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's next? The Rosetta Stone. Do you know what the Do you know what the Do you know what the Rosetta Stone is?
Yes.
Do you want to read it? Because apparently my voice is just not working for me.
As Indians call for the return of the can't pronounce it. The Egyptians.
Neither can I.
Yes, the Egyptians wants to bring back the Rosetta Stone, which is currently on display at the British Museum. The Rosetta Stone is a grand, glorious.
Hold on, let me try and read it. Grandiolate. I can't read that.
Yeah, me either. I can't pronounce that. ST.
Just keep going.
Has unlocked the mysterious hieroglyphic script of the ancient Egypt. It is perhaps the most famous piece of rock in the world.
Yeah, second only to the rock.
Well, so,
if you smell what the rock is cooking, dun da dun. I keep reading.
As the story goes, as the story goes, Rosetta Stone was found in I can't pronounce it.
Memphis.
Memphis, Egypt in 1799 by a French military officer before being seized by the British force in Alexandria and shipped to England 2 years later in the 1802s. The stela, I can't pronounce it, which is enabled hieroglyphs to be deciphered, was given to the British Museum. Since then, the stone has been on display at the museum with only one break during the World War I in 1917. When the museum moved import objects to prevent damage from a heavy bombing in London. Now, Egypt archaeologist Saki Hawase
just skip over.
Has initiated a campaign for the return of the artifact. The Rosetta Stone is the icon of Egyptians' identity. The British Museum has no right to show this artifact to the public. He was quoted as telling the national addressing they left Egypt completely illegally and they should come back, he said.
Okay, I'll take over.
Yeah, so this glass is shitty.
Okay, looks like we're up to the last one.
Yes.
The Benin Bronzes. The Benin Bronzes are a group of thousands of objects that were taken from the kingdom of Benin in what is now Nigeria. In 1897, the exact number is unknown, though it is believed to exceed 3,000. These objects, including figurines, tusks, sculptures of Benin's rulers, and an ivory mask, were looted by British troops and have since been dispersed around the world, with the bulk of the works now residing with state museums in Europe. But how did the British come into their possession? It is said that the deaths of James Phillips, an unarmed British explorer, on the orders of Benin's ruler Oba Ovonramwen, caused the loot. Artnews.com reports that to avenge Phillips's death, the British Empire sent troops to steal artifacts from the kingdom, and they walked away with thousands of priceless objects. I mean, shit, that's pretty that's pretty vindictive. Today, Nigerians have been demanding that the figurines be returned to them, as they are a window into the African art of those times, and it's just unfair that the locals have to travel to London if they want to take a look at them.
Oh wow.
I mean, that one's probably like the worst one that I've read so far.
Yes.
I mean, it was taken away from them just out of spite.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so yeah, they've not just that, but also like, so yeah, they've also got the Rosetta Stone, these ancient Greek things, some diamonds. Yeah, Britain stole like a lot of
Yes.
yeah, stole some pretty stole kind of a lot. I mean, that's pretty inexcusable.
Yes, it is.
I put another article that says that it looks at some stuff that was stolen by the British Empire
Yes.
of the centuries. This is from Newsweek. Some of them are the same, some of them are a little different,
Yeah.
but we'll just skip over the ones we've already read
Yes.
about. Yeah,
you all know that.
Whatever. Yeah, we're on the context. Let's see. Two of the jewels are people. Yeah.
That's Prince George and Prince Charlotte.
More context.
At the moment, I'm just watching the funeral while streaming.
Okay. Let's see. Let's keep going. Come on. Where's the actual? Rather, there's no heading. What the fuck? Whatever. Let's just keep going.
Yes.
Okay. Can India have the Kona back? Okay. Whatever. Kona diamond.
We just read that.
South Africa. Yeah. Like I said, we'll skip over the ones we've already talked about. It takes pride to place at the top of the crown made by the Queen Mother. Britain came to position the Kona. The Kona diamond was okay. We've already looked at that. Okay, Imperial Queen State. Okay. Come on, we've already looked at these.
Yes.
Oh god, don't tell me this is it. Oh, fuck you, Newsweek.
Yeah.
I thought I put something else. I guess that's the best I can that's the best I could do at this point. Anyway, we've been streaming for 1 hour and 11 minutes, so I guess we're just about to wrap this up. There's one more article that we're going to look at.
Which one is it?
This is. I guess we'll cut back to here now.
Yeah.
As the other ones are opening up. Okay, display capture.
5
of the British Empire's worst atrocities under Queen Elizabeth's reign. And now, I did look into this website, Liberation, newspaper of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I looked into this website. It's not unreliable. I looked up. Apparently, they haven't failed a fact check in 5 years.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but they are regarded to be extremely partisan.
Yeah.
And so, even though it's the information they're publishing probably is not incorrect. They're going to be, if they don't like the Queen, they're going to be really fucking transparent with that. Yeah. So let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So just skip the context. Malayan emergency, 1948 to 1960. So, yeah, she did come to power during this.
Oh.
The Malayan Emergency was a guerrilla war between British Armed Forces and the Malayan National Liberation Army. The military wing of the Malayan Communist Party, which began 4 years before Queen Elizabeth's reign and continued 8 years after she ascended to the throne, the MNLA sought independence from the British colonial government and began waging guerrilla attacks on rubber plantations, police stations, and transportation and infrastructure networks. On June 18th, 1948, in response to these attacks, British authorities declared a state of emergency, triggering a 12-year-long war and scorched earth territory campaign in which the British military set fire to homes and farmland belonging to those suspected of having ties to the MNLA, relocated an estimated 400,000 to 1 million people into concentration camps called New Villages, and sprayed crops with Agent Orange to starve insurgents.
Oh, wow.
The emergency was declared over in 1960, and by the time an estimated 6,700 guerrilla fighters and over 3,000 civilians had lost their lives. Military strategists and policymakers still study the Malayan emergency today as one of the few successful counterinsurgency campaigns undertaken by the West.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, Elizabeth is the only person in her country that could declare war.
Yes.
The repression of the Mau Mau Rebellion, 1952 to 1960. 1952, after decades of economic marginalization, dispossession and violence at the hands of the British regime, a group of Kenyan militants known as the Mau Mau rebels launched a counter-colonial uprising against the white settlers and African loyalists in their country. The uprising was a response to decades of British colonizers seizing more and more land from the Kenyan inhabitants to give to white settlers, forcing the locals into low-wage labor on the settlers' farms. Nationalist organizations such as the Kenyan African Union often appealed to British authorities to land reform and equal political rights to no avail. By October of that year, the British moved military reinforcement into Kenya to put down this uprising. They launched a brutal counterinsurgency campaign and threw over 100,000 Kikuyu, Neru, and Embu Kenyans into detention camps where they were subject to interrogation, torture, beatings, and sexual abuse.
Fuck.
By 1960, according to the Kenyan Human Rights Commission, the British had killed, maimed, or tortured 90,000 Kenyans and detained 160,000 in camps. Though Mau Mau were defeated, the rebellion played a key role in achieving Kenyan independence in 1963.
Oh wow, that's pretty.
Today, the Talai King Sigis tribes in Kenya are seeking $200 billion in reparations from the British government and restitution of land theft from colonial crimes. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yes.
The covert war in Yemen, 1962 to 1969. Can you read this? I need to.
Yeah, I know.
My voice needs to rest.
Yes. The covert war in Yemen in 1962. In 1962, after the death of Yemen King's Arab Army nationalists, with popular support from the people and backed by Nasser, Egyptian army seized power and declared a republic. Rawlers, meanwhile, launched a counterattack to take back power with support from Saudi Arabian Arab. I know what's the word, I can't pronounce it.
Which one pointed to me?
Saudi Arabia as well. Jordan and Britain. Though Britain publicly maintained a policy of no invasion in Yemen, it was it was in fact circularly supplying fighter jets to carry out airstrike on the country, as well as millions of pounds of weapon to royalist forces. Airwork Service, a private British defence company, even signed a $26 million contract to provide personnel to train Sardinians pilots. It is worth noting that British officials acknowledged the royalists they backed had little chance of winning. The strategy was as strategy as the then Prime Minister Howard Macmillan's told U.S. President Macmillan told U.S. President John Kennedy was to ensure that the new Yemen regime were occupied with their own internal affairs during the next few years, and that the end goal was a weak government in Yemen not able to make trouble. As predicted, the royalists lost the war to Republicans in 1969, and by the time an estimated 20,000 people has been killed.
How many is more after this?
I'll do some more.
Okay, I guess if you want to read this one as well, you may.
Yes. Propaganda offense in Indonesia. In 1965, British spies has launched a sophisticated propaganda campaign inciting violence against the Indonesia Communist Party, then the third largest communist party in the world. From Singapore, the British propagandists created newsletters purportedly written by Indonesia diaspora, encouraging those within the country, including army generals, to cut out and the communist cancer and eliminate another word.
Okay, if you can't read it, just leave it to me.
Eliminate the PKI.
That's the Indonesia Communist Party.
Yes, the PIK. They said it is a wounded snake, and now it is time to kill it before it has chance to recover. The offensive was included a radio station by Malaysians broadcasting anti-communist propaganda into Indonesia. This campaign was launched by British to undermine PKI supported Indonesia President Sukarno, who opposed the administration plans to combine of its former colonies into Malaysia Federation, a plan he saw as the empire trying to preserve its colonial control in this region. On October the 1st, an attempted coup within the army carried out by the left-wing forces, believing that some within the ranks were planning to coup against Sukarno, was the
Catalyst.
catalyst.
Okay, if you can read it, just let me read it and you skip it.
Catalyst for the General
Suharto.
To seize power, crush the rebellion, and massacre all his suspected of having ties to the PRK. During this period, the British spies sent out special issue newsletter likening to the PRK and Hitler.
Likening the PKI to PKA.
Oh, to Hitler.
PKI to Hitler.
To urge those to continue their violent campaigns, even stating the communism must be abolished in its all forms. The work started by the army must carried on and
intensified.
The violence finally ended in March 1966 when
Sukarno
abdicated power to the General Suharto. So, by the time and estimated 500,000 to 1 million people that has been killed, making it one of the worst massacres of the 20th century. I'm so sorry, guys.
That's okay, I'll read the last one. Bloody Sunday. It's January 30th, 1972. On January 30th, 1972, during a march in Derry, Northern Ireland, British military opened fire on a crowd of protesters, shooting 26, 14 of whom died from their injuries. I think that should be who.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Maybe whom is right. During the fray, 108 rounds of ammunition were discharged by 21 soldiers firing their weapons. The Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association had organised the march in response to legislation passed by the British government in August of 1971, which allowed authorities to imprison suspected Irish nationalists without trial. Catholic communities in Northern Ireland were already subject to discrimination by the majority Protestant government. Bloody Sunday is one of the key events during the Troubles, a 30-year national liberation struggle waged by the Irish Republican Army during the British Parliamentaries and the British Army for Independence. To end this, I'll end this right here. Not a figure to be admired, not a figure to be mourned. From the 1950s to 1970s, during the height of decolonization, British authorities launched Operation Legacy, a campaign to destroy all government records in the colonial administrations prior to their country's transition to independence. Administrators urged these records to be burnt or thrown into the sea in order to erase any evidence that could potentially embarrass Her Majesty's government or embarrass members of the police, military forces, public servants, or others, e.g. police informers, or that might be used unethically by ministers in the successor government. Because of these operations and its destroyed evidence, we might not even know the full scale of the British Empire's genocidal campaigns. What we do know of, however, should be a reminder that Queen Elizabeth is not a figure to be mourned, but a symbol of an empire responsible for some of the worst atrocities in history, who reaped massive amounts of wealth stolen from its colonies. Yeah, it paints old Lizzie in a very doesn't paint her in a very good light. I mean, I was kind of making jokes about making jokes at the expense of her death, but now people who are actually like genuinely happy that she's kicked the bucket, I can certainly understand that.
Yeah.
Now some might say something along the lines of, okay, those massacres that occurred under her reign, I think that's pretty
Yes.
inexcusable. But some people, I think, will try to make the case of, as for the items that were stolen, and before she took the throne, she's not responsible for that.
Yeah.
Okay, for that, I do have this quote. This is by James Connolly, I believe. He
Yes.
was an Irish nationalist who, opposed the British rule of his country.
Yeah.
Now, I am showing
V.
yeah, I am showing V a this is something I put off Facebook.
Yeah.
But I did look into this quote, and and from what I can tell, this is real. This is something
Yeah.
he actually said, and I will be reading it to our listeners,
Yes.
and I guess we'll end the stream after this. So, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for
There'll
listening.
there will definitely be more episodes like
Yes.
this in the future.
Yes.
So stay tuned and see you
See ya.
guys next time.
See ya.
Yep, see ya. But
Bye.
as soon as you're just gonna end it on this. This is what he says. This is James Connolly on the British King at the time. This is circa 1980s, I believe. 1890s, I believe. Anyway.
Yeah.
We will not blame him for the crimes of his ancestors if he relinquishes the royal rights of his ancestors. But as long as he claims their rights by virtue of descent, then by virtue of descent he must shoulder the responsibility of their crimes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind if you want to come to Queen Elizabeth's defense.
Yeah.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.